Woke up in the silence, heart bruised by the fight. Shadows on my pillow, echoes of the night. But grace like thunder whispered through the pain. You are not forgotten, I break every chain. I've walked through fire, I've cried through storms, but in your mercy I am reborn. From tears to armor I'll rise again. No more a victim, I stand in Him. He lifts the weary, He heals the scar. With every heartbeat He mends the heart. From ashes I will find my flame, by the power of Jesus' name. Every cruel word carved deep in my soul, but truth rewrites me, starts to make me whole. The grind that wore me
Welcome to
down won't steal. In the shadows where the truth hides deep, echoes of the lost and the secrets they keep. Cold cases burn in the back of your mind. We dig through the dark, one clue at a time. This ain't fiction, this is blood, this is truth. 12-gauge investigative, justice uncaged. We ask the questions they're too scared to say, shining a light where the guilty pray. From killers to whispers, we won't look away.
All right. How's everybody doing tonight on this Tuesday evening? My name is 12 Gauge, and this is my channel, 12 Gauge Investigative. Maybe tonight we can have a live without technical difficulties. Can everybody hear me? Can you hear me loud and clear? I think I'm just having too much passing through this one laptop. I'm usually have both laptops plugged in, and I have everything kind of distinguished out through both of them. And I don't know, that light just started flickering like last night, and I was like, nah, we ain't having that. So I just unplugged it. But I'm glad y'all can hear me. I just wanted to come on here and basically just kind of talk about anything and everything. We haven't really done that in a while. We've mostly been very focused on one directive or the next. Wonder why this camera's all up in my face. Anyways, how's everybody doing? Y'all doing all right? I can see a lot of you in the chat. I saw some of you not long ago. There's been a lot going on in the true crime world. I don't really know. Honestly, I'm getting ready to be a probation officer, so I've been kind of motivated on some of the trainings and stuff that I'm going through in order to get that started in the next couple months. So I haven't really been following true crime. You know, I have off and on, and I mean, it's just not really a priority to me right now. But, you know, I still like to hop on here and talk with you guys because I enjoy the company and I enjoy um, I enjoy your thoughts. One thing that's been tossed around a lot, and I was in Jennifer Coffindaffer's chat the other day, and she had, I think his name is Dubay, something like that, Philip Dubay, and I've seen him on the Nancy Grace show, so that's where I know him from. And he was discussing about the appeal, and I think this is a hot topic for a lot of people, but he kind of made it plain and simple in his explanation of the appeal as much as a non-lawyer person could understand it. What I got from that is, and I'm going to share a little bit about it, and I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, then y'all feel free to correct me. It's like a big screen TV on the table, huh? Anyways, do y'all feel that, first of all, let me get the general consensus. Do y'all feel that he's going to appeal? Do y'all feel that he's going to appeal? Let me know your stance on that because I respect y'all's opinion. Do y'all feel that he is going to appeal? Not a snowball's chance in hell that he'll appeal. Negative Ghost Rider? Nope. Um, I don't believe he will either because the way Philip described it, Mr. Dubay described it, he said that basically, and this is what I got from it. I could have got it wrong, so y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Um, he stated that if he did appeal, then all of a sudden it would go back to square one. But the one thing that I heard him say that I thought was interesting is that life without parole would be off the table at that point. He would he would basically be facing either firing squad or he could have, obviously be proven innocent. So in that retrospect, he would be screwing himself, would he not? Because that was the biggest deal is people were saying, that he wanted to save his life and this and that and the other, and they got the death penalty pulled. So, why would he go backwards? Why would he say, okay, well my life has been spared. I've signed a plea deal, but yet I'm going to throw that all away and take my chance at potentially being innocent, or if they find me guilty, they're going to kill me. So, yeah, Dolphin says I spelled his name wrong. It's Philip Dubay. Yeah. Firefly says even if they did try to appeal it, would probably be denied immediately. And that's another thing that he would be the one that has to ask for the appeal. And he kept stating that in his speech. Philip Dubay did. He said Koberger would be the one that had to ask for it. And in the Idaho law, there's 42 days to be able to ask for the appeal. So if he didn't ask for the appeal, the attorney can't appeal it for him. You get what I'm saying? So, well, that's interesting, Rondi. That's an interesting statement. I guess he went to the YouTube School of Criminal Law. A lot of these YouTubers went to that school, obviously, so they're able to opine. Um, but honestly, if you're gonna take a plea deal, right, right. If you're gonna take a plea deal, then you're already getting the best deal possible. I would believe. You know what I mean? Is this is the best thing they're offering you? The prosecution is saying, look, this is what we're gonna offer you, and this is how it's gonna go. You're gonna serve them consecutive. You're gonna you're gonna get, what did he get for the burglary? 10 years, and you're gonna have restitution, and also you do have the ability to appeal, but you know that wouldn't be in your best favor. Also, we were asking that if he did go down that line, would his admittance of guilt be automatically transferred over? Because a lot of people think that since he did stand up and say yes, he did this to these crimes. I'm still kind of confused on that. I don't know if that would transfer over or if you would just go with a whole clean slate without his testimony of admitting to guilt. What do y'all think, Chad? I mean, can y'all clarify that for me? Um, because I'm not very clear on that. Um, and it's something that is interesting because I've heard so much about that statement. If he does, recant the appeal, with the fact that he stood up there and said, "Yes, I did this," would that be used against him? Um, would that be something that transferred over? I heard the attorney say that it would be a clean slate, and it would be almost like you go back to square one. So I don't know if the jury would automatically understand that he did accept the plea deal, he did accept responsibility, and he recanted his appeal, or he recanted the plea deal. So therefore, they would be notified that he did admit to his part in this quadruple murder. Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point. Dolphin says he didn't give any details, so he hasn't hung himself yet. That's a good point. And I've always wondered that. I mean, is him standing up there and saying, well, yes, I did it, would that be enough for a jury to hear that and say, well, okay, that's going to be fresh on our minds, um, as far as a, admittance of guilt? Well, he didn't give any details, but also the state has the burden of proof, so they have the ability to bring up all the evidence that they do have against them. It's really a touchy thing, really. Um, hey PKC, welcome. That's fine. That's fine. You haven't missed much. We're just talking about the appeal. He said yes to the charges. That would count against him heavily. Yes. I wouldn't think that the fact that he took a plea deal and then chickened out would be something a jury would be allowed to consider, but if they're already aware of it, what to stop them? That's true, because I mean, the gag order's been lifted. I'm sure anybody that's still interested in this case would understand that, he did plea, and, if they're called to jury duty in the future, then they would have an understanding that this would be a recanted plea, which is wild. I don't I don't really think he's going to do it. But you can say yes to the charges and later say that you were under duress, confused, etc. I'm sure it's happened before. Well, that's the thing right there. The judge was asking him those questions, and he said openly in court on the record that he was not under duress. He was not being led by somebody else. He was not. He was making the decision for himself. He was not promised anything. He was not any of that. So my understanding is that he clarified that once he pled, but I could be wrong. You know what I mean? I like your thought pattern though. I really do. I like how you think. Because to be honest, we really don't know. We really don't know if he went that route. I believe that if he went that route, if he was going to appeal, he would have appealed the next day after the sentencing because it would have taken longer than 42 days than to get everything situated, get the get the process rolling, and not necessarily that it's going to happen the next day after the appeal is um is asked for. You know what I mean? So you said I heard that open statements would include this man has already stated he is guilty of these crimes. I think that was a criminal defense attorney. Yeah, he's afraid of the 150 grain missile. Yeah, I mean that's interesting though to think that you know, like I've always said, criminal law always has the checks and balances, which is a good thing in our favor. Excuse me, especially if for whatever reason you're found guilty of a heinous crime, you always have the ability to appeal, whether it be a death sentence, whether it be anything in that retrospect. But at what point is too far too far? You know, at what point do we need to look at this and say, you know, we waste a lot of money giving people years and years and years in prison, feeding them, having their doctor bills, you know, having their psychological medication, having to house them, you know, having to feed them. All these things that the penitentiary does, that's a lot of money spent on somebody still fighting for their lives after the jury or after their own admission has
And they want it all like up front. Or they want like half of it.
what the fuck? What was that? Did y'all hear that? I heard a cough, and then I heard they wanted it all up front, and then the person said, "Oh, they want half of it." What the hell? That was wild. Did y'all hear that? That was a female voice. There's something crazy going on in this house. Whoa. I wasn't touching the phone. The phone is off. There's nobody on the other end. And that like shot through my phone like I had a phone call. Y'all, I don't know what's going on. If y'all were here last night, you understand I was having all kinds of problems. I was having all kinds of problems. Something supposedly is wanted up front, or at least half of it. I don't know. That sounds like a drug deal to me. They want it all up front, or at least half. You better give me at least half of it, or we ain't got a deal. No, it sounds more like some kind of construction thing or whatever. Well, anyways, when it comes to Brian Koberger, I'm happy to know that, you know, he is where he needs to be. Yeah, the pizza flew on the floor. It's just crazy. Sprinkle some holy water. Let me tell you a story. Before I started using this as my computer place, there used to be like a cat picture on the wall. And that picture would trip me out, right? Because it was just a picture of a black cat laying on the floor. Someone had painted it and left it here. And I was like, I'm tired of looking at that cat picture. So I took it and hid it, because I couldn't stand it. And it just wild the way things happen in life. There's too much. I mean, if you can hear me, pay the half. I don't know how somebody would be able to hear you or actually say anything when the phone isn't even connected to a call. If you start hearing flies or someone saying, get out, run. Will do, my brother, will do. I am on call. I thought for a second, was that my on call phone? I'm all looking. Y'all saw me looking over here like, what the hell? But anyways, let's get back to what I was saying. Um, it wouldn't be wise for him to do that. It really wouldn't. No, sir. No, sir. I am not going down that route. I wouldn't even know how to use a spirit box. I'm thinking, you know, let me finish my thought and then I'll address that. It wouldn't be wise for him to go down that avenue. I hope that, he understands that, if he feels that he wanted to save his life, that his attorney pretty much did that. There's a lot of people that say that Ann Taylor didn't do a very good job. I believe that Ann Taylor did what she was supposed to do. Because for the longest time, that's all we were hearing from is Ann Taylor. She was trying to get everything tossed out, suppressed, even emotions and lemonade. So I don't know what happened. That cat picture, it's somewhere. I hit it and I don't even remember what I did with it. I kicked it. I kicked the cat. There. You heard it. Um but anyways, it wouldn't be relevant or prudent for him to actually take the appeal. I wouldn't I wouldn't if I was him. But he's the one that's gonna have to um he's gonna have to be the one that wants it. You know what I mean? He's gonna be the one that has to um ask for it. He's gonna be the one that has to, but Philip Dubé was also saying after the 42 days, Anne has to get up there in front of the court and state that there was never anything sent to her, either an email, any of this stuff, requesting an appeal, as far as I can recall her saying. So, I mean, the saga continues. The saga continues. How many of you are tired of hearing about Brian? I know we talk about him on here. We talk about this case still because it's not really complete, but I'm just glad that I'm not one of those that is continuing to read the documents. I gave up on those documents. I was just like, you know what? I've read enough of them to know that there's nothing that I'm gonna see in here that's gonna change my mind over what happened. You know what I mean? Nothing that I read is gonna make it so astronomical in my mind that I'm gonna change the way I felt about how it ended up. You know? Well, that's good. I mean, y'all enjoy that stuff. I really, I've never really enjoyed the documents, but y'all enjoy that stuff. So there's a difference there. You know what I mean? I'm happy that y'all enjoy that stuff. It's just nothing that I've really enjoyed doing. I mean, I it's a lot of reading and it's a lot of stuff like that, and I'd rather focus my brain cells on other things, the little ones that I have left. You know what I mean? But I'm glad that there are people like you, Dolphin and Salty, and everybody else who read the document that enjoys that and gives us y'all the understanding because it needs to be done. Somebody needs to do it because for the longest time I wasn't even reading the documents. I was waiting for somebody else to read it and kind of going on their impression until one day I thought, 12, you need to read those things because you're blindly following people's thoughts. What if they're wrong? So that's the way I felt about that. So, yeah, I understand that, Firefly. I really do. I mean, if it's something substantial, I'm pretty sure somebody will bring it to light. There'll be somebody who has integrity that will bring it to light. Who's Michael Easter? You want to come up on panel? I've never had you up here, but I would like to have somebody up here to kind of talk to because y'all dive into all that stuff, and I just don't have the time or the want. I've been trying to read a police report and still can't make sense of it. Firefly, or you, either one, a former FBI. Is that the guy that supposedly cracked the case with the SIM card or something like that? Okay, I'll send you the invite. Appreciate that because I don't know what y'all are talking about, and it'd be nice to it'd be nice to know. There you go. Let me go ahead and make room for you up here. Okay, I've made room for you. You ever see the Ferris Bueller movie when it comes out after the movie credits said, "You're still here, it's over, go home, go"? Yeah. Yes, he was on LYK and another show. Can't remember the name of the other one. That's the one that. Hey, Dolphin, how are you?
Hey, I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm good. You want to fill me in on this guy? Was I talking about the same guy or was I talking
Yeah,
about somebody different?
yeah, you've got it right. I just hold on a second. I'm looking at because it's been a minute since I've been in StreamYard. Uh, yeah, everything looks good. Oh yeah, what Firefly was talking about is Michael Easter. He was on. I'm trying to think. I don't remember whose show that was on, but he was interviewed and he said that. I think what was it? He was talking about Karen Reed. Firefly,
Hmm.
because I know we watched it. And he said something about, oh yeah, I helped solve a case with the SIM card out of the car, basically.
Right, right.
And we
And he
were
was
like,
talking about
oh,
the quadruple. He was talking about a
he said a
quadruple
quadruple
homicide. Right?
homicide. He said
Do you
a
think?
an important quadruple homicide. Yeah.
Do you think he meant the Idaho 4? I mean, I don't know of any other quadruple homicides.
Yeah, I think so because he's been on another. What's this? This two lawyers that have a show together, and he's mentioned the fact that he helped Nick Balance and who was the other FBI agent?
Shh, don't get me to lying.
Oh, I know
He,
who it was. The lawyer you know interviewed
yeah,
him,
the lawyer,
and
you know.
that's when he said what he said. And then these two lawyers, um, the Linda Kinney show or whatever, she's got 3 names she goes by. I can't think of her show. Um, he's been on there a lot more. And so yeah, he's kind of he said on that show that yes, he helped Nick Balance and oh, Michael Douglas was the other FBI agent in the case. So
Okay.
he helped them do work, but he wasn't there in Idaho. He said that he was, I guess back at home in California.
So, I know that you guys over there deep dive really deeply, and y'all examine everything. I don't know how long y'all have been with Salty or vice versa. It really doesn't matter. But I mean, as far as the car's concerned, did y'all ever discuss um in detail what the car entailed, like whether it had the capacity for a SIM card or not? Because I know Jeff and I
Hmm.
had looked at one point, and that make and model, I think we found out that it didn't have that capacity to have that kind of SD card or something like that. I think it's SIM card just for a phone, but I think it's an SD card.
Yeah, it was what do you call it? Yeah, from the very first of the case, we've known Salty since before she had a show. So,
Okay.
so we were deep diving this long before she had a show, and then
Okay.
she started her show, and then we were still like deep diving in the background and whatnot.
Right. Right.
So,
Right.
and actually, Firefly and I always sometimes like sit around at night watching different things and looking at the documents and doing research and whatnot. So when Michael Easter said what he said about the card, the SD card, we started
Hmm.
doing more research on the car because we had already looked up the Blue Link information.
So, can you
Mhm.
explain that blue link? Because I don't have a clue what any of this is, and I think the audience would benefit from y'all's information if you don't mind.
Yeah, let me see. I was looking at your chat. Jeff was saying, didn't they call the GPS option for that Elantra the infotainment package? Yes. And the Blue Link was a subscription-based product that it was part of the infotainment package. So like connecting your phone through Bluetooth to the, display on the car and then like I don't know, getting different things like downloads or whatever, updates to the
Okay.
package, just like a bunch of different stuff. But he didn't have that on his car. But a long time ago, somebody else had mentioned something about a Burla report that cars usually have an ability to do a Burla report, and it'll tell you like
Right.
everything that the car has done. More so than the just the black box on the car. So let me see. Yep, large screen. Yep, the large screen is not on that dashboard, Jeff.
Blue link is in all models that year, I believe, even without subscription.
Subscription. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I was under the impression that if the vehicle had navigation, then that would be the way that they would be able to get all that information. But the way you are describing it, it's something totally different. It's like totally away from just that. So that's interesting to hear.
Right. So the navigation that you're talking about is part of the Blue Link and the extra screen and whatnot, but he doesn't have that screen package and everything in
Right,
his car.
right.
And then, so we found out too that even if you didn't subscribe to Blue Link, you had that certain like year or certain years and makes had like access to certain products or whatever, or certain features, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And even
Okay.
if you sold the car, they're like the very bare bones basics you would still have access to. But what I
Okay,
think,
so you're,
mhm,
excuse me, are you talking like, when you buy a vehicle from, let's say it's used, and the owner that bought it brand new got the Sirius XM, right? Are you talking something like that? Like, you're able to pick up that subscription because it's already on the product. Would it be something like that? Do you get what
mm,
I'm asking?
yeah,
Like if
but
you buy a used car, because a lot of, if you buy a used car and the previous owner who traded it in subscribed to Sirius XM, because a lot of these newer vehicles come with a complimentary, um, package with Sirius XM on it, and they subscribe. Well, let's say they trade the car in and their subscription goes and is, after a while it's no longer void, it's no longer valid, so it voids itself, but it doesn't take itself off the radio. You still have the XM features that give you the possibility to reactivate the product.
right, but I'm trying to think. What do you call it? I think I bookmarked the website too. There was something else that mm, with the SD card and with the background blue link that, even if you're not subscribed to it, it would allow
Mhm.
the manufacturer to, I guess, like keep an eye on things that are going on with the car. If they're having, like, I don't know, recalls, or there's some sort of, updates or whatever that they need to send out, or they need to gather information from the car. That's like, I guess some of the uses that, kind of like come into play with having it.
Okay.
Let me see if I can
So
find the page
this
for it.
reminds me of something I heard a long time ago, but never heard any more about it or heard it brought up in court or in documents. New Hyundai owners get the Blue Link free. Wow, I remember the cassette adapters.
Oh,
Even if you
geez.
don't subscribe, the Blue Link is still functional.
Right.
Just like OnStar, my daughter told us her car, and the OnStar operator came and spoke to my daughter to see if she was okay. Wow, that's awesome. I mean, not that she totaled her car, but that the OnStar feature was still active enough to ask her if she was all right. So, if this individual, what did you say his name was? Michael Easter?
Right. He's an FBI, former FBI agent.
Okay, so if he comes out with information and he's able to really give us how he got to Koberger, if he was the one that actually did that, then that would put everything about the phone and everything to bed, right? It would, because that's not how they would have tracked him. They would have got him through the blue link. Is that what we're saying?
Um, I'm sorry, what do you mean, put everything about the phone to bed?
Well,
Whether or
like
not those
the
locations
phone was
were
supposedly
valid?
turned off, right? The phone was
Yeah.
supposedly turned off.
Mhm.
So the way that they would have really got to him and tracked him would have been through the blue link, based on what you are saying as far as it being able to calculate all these things. Then it's saved in the blue link. So um, that's my understanding. I could be wrong. I'm just trying to understand this.
If that's who he was really talking about, was Brian Koberger's car and whatnot, then
Hmm.
that would have been in that CAS data, because that's what not Michael, Nick Balance and Michael Douglas, that's what they were supposed to have been working on.
Okay. Okay.
Let me check Discord because I think I linked that Hyundai.
Discord's pretty cool. You can keep a lot of stuff that, you know, at your disposal.
I found it. Oh yeah, this is back in June that we were looking at this.
That's awesome that you guys, even went into that because Jeff and I really talked about it early on in the case because we were hot on that Elantra. We were on that. We did multiple lives on that Elantra. We were tearing that car inside out. And we just kind of overlooked it. We thought, well, it doesn't have a navigation system or it doesn't have any kind of ability to have any kind of readable devices. So there's no way that could have been it. But it's interesting that this guy was able to disclose this information.
Yeah. Do you want me to send you this link? If you want to put up the page so you can see what all Blue Link handles.
Sure, just email it to me. I'll put the email in the chat.
Actually, does
I
the
appreciate you being up on panel. This is
there we
quite
go.
informative.
Oh, you're welcome. I just dropped it in the chat. Can you see it?
No. Did you put it in the private chat?
No. Here,
Drop it in the private chat. That way I can click on the there it
there
is.
you go.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, let me share the screen.
Let me try and go back to see. Let me see. That was back in. Yep. Yep. Let me look at our side chat.
Okay. It said Blue Link is our connected car service that's available to the 2023 Ioniq 6 and new Blue Link equipped Hyundai vehicles starting with the 2024 model year.
Well,
It
this is
has
the
a great,
plus. hmm
huh?
This is the
This
plus
is
version.
okay, and it has the great features you love about Blue Link. So you can remotely start your vehicle, lock or unlock your doors, schedule battery charging if you're on an electric vehicle, and more. And it's all at no additional cost for the original owner. For most 2023 and older models, Blue Link connected car service is available at a low monthly fee. So, if you're able to lock and unlock your doors, it would, in theory, I would guess, it would keep a reading of how many times you locked and unlocked those doors, right?
Yeah.
So, that night, I wonder if it would, I don't know. I'm trying to still understand this. So, you can remote start, remote door lock and unlock, on demand diagnostic and alerts. It says run a full vehicle diagnostic check directly from your Hyundai touchscreen. If an issue is found, you can schedule service by pressing the service link in the on the rearview mirror, and the details will be sent to your preferred dealer. So this is in the rearview mirror, and those three little buttons that are usually in the rearview mirror part.
Yeah. Let me see. Hold on. Let me get StreamYard back up.
Man, this is a lot of stuff with the 2025 one. Well, it looks like here you can download an app to your phone. Wouldn't that be interesting if he had that app downloaded and had all the information on his phone?
Yeah, but see, I don't even think he had that particular screen and whatnot. Because remember when they were driving to Indiana, like through Indiana, and they like got pulled over? Didn't the dad have like his phone with the maps up in his hand
Yeah, yes, he
or
did.
whatever? So yeah, I know
Yeah,
that they were using it for this.
yeah, yeah. That older model didn't have a navigation screen. I mean, you think of a 17 or 15.
It was a 15, yeah.
Yeah, 15, it being an older model. Good God. But still, it didn't have a navigation screen. So I guess it was the basic package.
Right, which dang, I cannot find what
Well,
I
that's
was looking
fine. That's
for.
fine. If you do find it, I mean, we can
Well,
pull it
here's the
up.
part that I was talking about because it says on-demand diagnostics and alerts, right? It says you can
Hmm.
run a full vehicle diagnostic check directly from your Hyundai's touchscreen. If an issue is found, we can schedule service by pressing the service link button on the rearview mirror, and the details will be sent to your preferred dealer. So I'm thinking that the basic, like behind the scenes version is collecting diagnostic information at the very least, instead of, like, offering you all the other bells and whistles that you would get if you paid for it, if you subscribed to it. You know what I mean? Like, I look at it like this. So, on your phone you use Google Maps, right? And
Hmm.
like, say you're driving somewhere, and if you, I don't know, if your cell signal dropped, right? Then you're like, oh shoot, I've lost my map or whatever, right? Well, a lot of people don't realize this, but on Google Maps you can actually download a whole huge section. You could download a whole state worth of maps or whatever, or two states worth, so that they're available offline. So here's what I was wondering: if what do you call it, so if he turned his phone off or put it in airplane mode or whatever, and he's quote unquote offline, you know, is his timeline information, did it still pick up, the fact that he was still going somewhere? Did he have downloaded maps or whatever? That's what I've always been wondering. I can't wait to see his
That's
Google
interesting.
data.
That's interesting.
And I mean, the car, if it's got an SD card in it, let's see.
Another thing, you know how the Google Maps they run in the background regardless if you have signal or not. Like on my trip, there were a lot of areas where it says Google has lost internet service, but the map was still running.
Right.
You know what I mean? So could the map have like? I wonder if your phone runs behind the
It's
scenes, like
based off the satellite.
even if you're not logged into Google Maps, it is still registering on your phone based on the movement of the car.
Right, it's the satellite. Your phone connecting to a
Yeah,
satellite is what's showing where your location is.
because I have all kinds of locations on my phone. I have one on Snapchat. I have Life 360. I have all these freaking location things, that all these apps ask for. So my phone's very trackable. But would he have had to turn off all those apps, or do they keep running in the background, even though the phone is on airplane mode? You know what I mean? The phone technically still on. It's just not able to receive text or phone calls.
Mhm.
Is that not what airplane mode is?
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, even when your phone is on airplane mode, if you're connected to Wi-Fi, you can still send text messages.
Yeah, yeah. Be sure to hit the like button or I'll turn off your electricity.
I'll look around and check my history and some bookmarks and see if I can find the specifics, because, like I said, when Firefly and I were looking this up, we specifically went back and looked up, the year for his car, and really dug, to find the information. But now I'm like, that was a couple months ago, and I just, I'm like, hadn't thought about it, and I can't really explain it well enough. But yeah.
Yeah, Firefly has a good point. She said it doesn't matter if the phone was off. Maybe they can tell where his car was during
Right,
that
and
night.
that's because of
Yeah,
the SD card in his
yeah,
car.
because that's more important to pinpoint and put the car in the vicinity rather than phone.
Which
Unless.
Which, speaking of the vicinity, of the house, every time they say, and this is even the prosecution, every time they say something like, "Well, we can't, place him in the house or whatever, blah blah blah, and we can't say that he was there. There are, lots of houses around there." It's like, hold on, people, stop forgetting that you've stated in documents in court that he was caught 23 times at least within 100 meters of the house, or 100 feet of the house, whatever it was, like meters or feet, I can't remember right
That's
now,
a good
but
point.
you know what
That's
I
a good
mean.
point.
So what
Yeah,
is that? That's like right there in the neighborhood. That's not over in Pullman, Washington, where you really live. you know that's way over in Moscow, around this house, where you don't know anybody else, and you haven't said, "Oh, I have friends in that area." So you don't have
right.
in the middle of the night when stores are closed, you know, and you
And
don't
early
have a real
morning.
reason to be there. Mhm.
Yeah, early morning and, late at night. I don't understand why he's coming out and saying all this stuff. And even I heard him say, we had no real evidence um, showing that he even knew these people. Well, we knew that. We've known that.
Actually, but you know what though? So they keep saying that too. I mean, like every statement that Bill Thompson has been making since the plea was entered, they're like self-defeating statements. Well,
Yes.
we can't really prove this or da 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 da
Right.
or that. It's like, why are you saying that? Because here's the thing. No, okay, they're claiming they didn't find a connection, right? But here's the thing. The man had 6 weeks, right, to clean up his connection. And they had said in court hearings that we know that he was wiping his devices and wiping his history. So you didn't find a connection because he's already had a chance to get rid of the connection. Why don't you say that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Instead of, no, we couldn't find a connection. You couldn't find
I
a
mean,
connection because he got rid of
he's
it.
making it sound like they had nothing against them but the sheath, pretty much.
Hmm.
It's like, okay, so you basically bluffed this man into taking a plea deal. You bluffed him, made everybody think that you had more information than you really did, or are you lying right now?
I
You
still
know,
think that there's got to be something more because here's the thing. He asked for that plea deal. They didn't say, "Hey, could you take a plea deal? Would you if we drop
right,
you?"
right,
He asked for it.
right.
So, yeah,
I mean, I've always thought there would have been more too, and I mean, that would have been Bill's chance, honestly, when he read pretty much paraphrased the PCA, during that part where he was speaking, that was his chance to say, well, this is what we have. This is exactly how it tied into going into the house, blah, blah, blah. This is supposedly how it happened, blah, blah, blah. This is the evidence that we have. And he didn't. It's like he used the bare minimum. I don't know.
yeah.
So I'm not one of those that doubts law enforcement or the judicial system, but their antics just they leave so much for speculation. You know what I mean? They leave their attitude, their they're wanting to keep everything under wrap for so long. It just has fed the speculation train.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. She says she's not impressed by Thompson. Yeah.
I,
I'm
I
not either.
wasn't either. I really wasn't either. I mean, and Anne did what she was supposed to do. It's not like she did some great job to humanity. I mean, she did what her job was supposed to be, is to try to save this man's life, and she was able to do so. I wonder if they've had this planned all along. Like if they said, let's get down to where we have to show that we tried our best to show get this taken off the table, getting that taken off the table, and at the end, if the judge doesn't go for it, then you can ask for a plea deal, and I'll be good with it.
Maybe. I mean, she didn't have anything else, that she could do. There were no other moves, by the time they got down to that. Because she had tried, everything under the sun,
Hmm.
you know.
That was getting pretty annoying, don't you think?
What, all her
That
motions?
yeah, all her motions.
No, she just, did what a defense
Well,
attorney would do. Yeah.
I know she did that. I know that she did that, but it was like, bro, at a particular point, just get with your client. Let's get this moving. I was ready for the trial. I wanted a trial.
Me too, because I wanted to see
Oh,
everything. And then now that, people are having to make FOIA requests or whatever, I'm like, no, is everything going to come out? I don't know. Speaking of, did you see the Cases of Interest website that there's a new document out there, and Judge Hippler put a list of 43 documents for the prosecution and the defense to consider whether or not they want them to remain sealed or to unseal them. I saw that late last night.
honestly, I don't know where everybody's getting these documents, and I tried to find them today. The only place I know is the original Idaho website,
That's what I'm
where it has
talking about.
yeah, I saw that one.
Oh,
But
okay.
everybody seems to have all these different documents. Where are they getting them at? Like, are
Uh,
they FOIA requested? Is that how they have them?
No. So, one, the Moscow documents came out because on the City of Moscow's website, they actually have like a link that's like Brian Koberger investigation files. And you can literally
Yeah.
go out there and get like this huge, dump. They've broken it out as like 50 per zip file or something. And then, because there's 314 there. And then, um, Pullman, City of Pullman, has kind of done the same thing, although theirs is messier. And it's just like, this huge list of files or whatever. And there's one option to download everything. But I, this is going to be, I don't know, sort of geeky of me. I'm a spreadsheet person, right? So I put all of the names of the files on the spreadsheet and then looked at all the files that I had just downloaded, and I'm missing some. So now I've got to go back and compare really quick to see what I actually got and what's on that list, because there's something missing. There's about 30 or so that I didn't get.
So the Pullman document, those would
Mhm.
be mostly pertaining to how they found his car, right? Stuff
I
like
don't know.
that. I mean,
I haven't actually looked through those files at all.
okay.
I just snagged them really
I
quick.
just wonder if those are the same type document that they had before, where it showed what they found in his apartment, the check off list. Because I opened that one today by accident, thinking that that was it.
Hmm.
Um, and I thought that I wonder if that's the document that they're gonna have. I don't know.
Here,
Like I
hold
said,
on.
I don't have a lot of time to go over these documents, and I'm glad that there are channels that do have the time and the patience to be going over this stuff. If there, there are people that are obviously biased when they read these documents, and then there are channels that aren't biased. And I'm glad that there are channels that can read these documents and understand the verbiage enough to really give factual information rather than their own opinion or emotional attachment. You know.
Oh, I just put the Pullman docs in his back chat, Jeff.
Okay, okay. Let me
Yep,
see
there
here.
you go.
Well, let me save this because I'll never be able to find it again.
Oh, yeah, I know what you
And
mean.
then what do you click on? The public archive?
No, no, no. The whole thing comes up. It's like the list of the files, and it says upload date and
Let me show you what came up.
okay.
This is what came up.
Oh, that's weird. Hold on. That's weird. Hold on. Get it from this then. let me put this here. This is the Yahoo article that I found it in, and then just scroll to the very bottom of the text in the article, and then it says read the documents here, like right before the copyright information in this article, and then open
Okay.
that link, which is that's weird. It's the same one. It ends in 23803.
Okay, I got it now.
And then you should see like file upload dates of like the 23rd of July, and then like all the file names. Yep, that. See up above that box to the top right, it says download all with an arrow.
Yeah, right here.
Yep.
Jesus, that's a lot.
Yeah. I
Can we
have
just do
pop-up
one at a
blockers.
time?
Yeah,
Can
you
you do
could.
one at a time?
Let me open up
Wonder
my spreadsheet
what-
because I put all of those in a spreadsheet last night. And
Is this the
so
one that a creator was talking about charging $20,000 to view these
uh
documents?
actually, I don't know what she was complaining about. I didn't watch all of her streams, so I just saw that and I said, "Yeah, I don't think that's happening." 20,000, yeah, coming from that particular creator or any creator. To be honest, I don't know who out here in these true crime YouTube streets has 20K to drop on documents. So that though is supposed to be Moscow, Pullman, and Idaho State Police, I think, is what her stream
Okay.
was supposed to be about.
You know what? I'm going to start a GoFundMe. Help my channel get those documents. Come on.
Good luck with that. I mean, if everyone's smart, they'll just wait for mainstream media to pay for them, and then yeah,
Yeah. I don't know. They want the documents bad enough. Come on. Come out your pocket.
yeah.
$10 a pop.
Um, no, so these are.
Well, that
Let's.
one that I just pulled up looks very basic. It doesn't look as
It is
detailed as
basic.
it doesn't look as detailed as the one in Moscow.
Yeah, it's just the way that they present their site is different, but I see it says Gov QA notification, new police records, request assignment. There's a bunch of those. I guess requester letters,
And I think people don't have an
emails.
understanding that through all these documents, you must go through and kind of be doing like a research project. You're getting the meat and potatoes out of it and leaving all the side dishes. You know what I mean? It's like we got to get the biggest stuff to present our case in trial. This is going to be our presentation. So we have to make a storyline based on how we got this evidence, blah, blah, blah. And then, this and that and the other.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't understand how the prosecution, they had the FBI's assistance. I mean, they literally did the whole case for them. And it's like, how are you struggling? Because it kind of seemed like they would have been struggling to, like, weave a story in court, as to what you think, happened. Because between the different books that have come out, the specials, like the Amazon Prime special, the Dateline special, whatever, all this,
Right.
these little tidbits that are coming out about his past, about what he did at WSU, and then, the murders and everything. I was like, how can you not? Like weave a story in court and basically get the jury to believe that, yeah, this guy did it, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, I just think that they lacked confidence.
Think the trial was, or the case was too big for small town America.
Hmm.
And then once it went to Boise, it got even bigger. And it's almost like they were starstruck.
And then, what do you call it? Then there are other things, like you said, the way that they've handled this case has made it even messier. And then there are other things like people are talking about Buddy the dog again, right? And apparently, the documents that came out of the FOIA suggested something about a teenage girl being involved or being a suspect or whatever for Buddy the dog. But then the case wasn't really an investigation or whatever. I think it was just marked as like an incident. What did it say?
Right.
Firefly. We watched it. It was like they said it was like an animal incident or whatever. That's basically how they categorized it. And it's like, okay, see, this is something they never closed, right? They said that, Brian didn't have anything to do with Buddy a long time ago when he was first arrested, you know, but then it's like they left the case open and it's like, if he didn't have anything to do with Buddy, then why didn't you guys just come out and say this case has nothing to do with this because of XYZ? We have another suspect. It's a minor. We can't, release any other further, information. That's it, you know, end of story.
I mean, it muddied the waters in so many ways. If they would have been able to just, like you're saying, be transparent. A lot of this stuff wouldn't have. I don't believe would have gotten as foolish as it became. Because as people say, they just want the answers. They just want the facts. They want to know that it was investigated properly, which you'll never get to that point. You know, you'll never get to that point to believe that this was done by the book because you're not in the mix. If you were an investigator, you were a detective or whatever, then you might have some semblance of, well, yeah, we messed up somehow, but, we corrected it after the fact. Let's start a GoFundMe for them documents.
Good
Come
luck
on,
with
y'all.
that.
Come on, y'all. Let's see if they'll give us 20,000 for them documents. I thought they were public information. How are they able to charge?
FOIA requests, a lot of police stations or, courthouses or whatever charge for FOIA
Yeah,
requests, So I mean, that's not unheard of.
right.
I don't know, like I said, what she was talking about the 20,000 or whatever. uh, you know.
20,000, bro. That's quite
I
a
mean, they'll
bit.
charge you. Here's the thing. They'll charge you like per page or whatever. And I think she was saying something about the fact that they were going to have to do the redactions, but she said she wrote them back and said, you only have to do the redactions once, and why are you charging everybody else who comes after the first person, trying to charge them the same amount of money. But
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, think about it. If this case, remember they said it was what, 60 something terabytes of data. Most of that is video, but a lot, is paperwork, reports, whatever.
And how mad would you be if you got all these videos that people want to see so badly, and all they are just very insignificant camera camera videos watching cars drive by. You know what I mean? Stuff
Well,
like that.
most of it is, insignificant. Like
But people want
99.9% of it is. Because think about it.
but people want to see that. It's like, let me sit here in front of my computer watching a camera of these cars driving by all day long.
No, there's nobody here that's going to sit here and watch, like, I don't know, tens of thousands of hours of,
Yeah.
CCTV footage. Nobody's going to do that. Ann Taylor and her team didn't even do that, you know?
Right. They were complaining about it. They were like, this didn't even show up the way that they got it. It's interesting though, to say the least. Well, I really appreciate you hopping up on panel. Maybe we can discuss that blue link another time
Oh,
if
yeah.
you get any new information or the old information, whichever, and let me know. I put my email in the chat. I think Salty has my email. If you need to get me anything, just get with Salty. She can give you my email.
Okay.
All right.
Mhm. Yeah, I'll
Well,
look around for it because I know if I look back through my history, I'm sure I bookmarked it. I thought I would have thrown
yeah,
it in our Discord, but I threw part of it in there, but not everything. So,
I came so close to just wiping all my Idaho stuff. I came so close. Like I know I wiped a lot of stuff that I
why would
got
you
from
wipe
other
it?
people. I don't know. Just it's taking up too much room on my.
Well, hold on a
Oh,
second.
you know what I
How
mean?
big
It's
is your
like,
hard drive? Do you only have
well,
one hard drive or you've got multiple?
yeah, yeah. I just have one hard drive, so
How
it's
big is your
like
hard drive?
I don't know,
See,
big
that's what I
enough.
said to Firefly the other day. Even what was it? Garrett Discoveries. They are the ones that supposedly saw this connection between Koberger and a couple of the girls in the house, right? And he said that they didn't save the file. And I'm like, in this day and age, with the space, the amount of storage space on computers and everything, why wouldn't you save a file?
Well,
I don't get rid of
I've been
anything.
I've been saving a lot of my stuff in my Gmail account also, in the
Hmm.
cloud and all that stuff. So that's what I was talking about. I really don't
Oh,
have a
okay.
lot of on my hard drive. It's mostly stayed saved in the cloud. But I was just like, man, I don't know if I want to keep all that. I mean, I don't know. I
Just
still
create a
have it.
folder, move
I
it,
haven't wiped anything,
kind of
but
put it to the back.
yeah. That way someday somebody will discover my cloud and be like, was this guy obsessed or
What was he
what?
into?
Right. Was this
Yeah.
guy a stalker? What was he into?
Hmm. That's
But
crazy.
I
But
think I'm
yeah,
gonna
I'll
call
definitely
I
look for
think
this.
I'm gonna call it a night. Thank you so much for being up here.
Thanks for having me.
I really enjoy you and Firefly and Salty all together on the panel and Joe. I haven't seen Joe. Is he all right?
I haven't seen him either because I haven't been getting up in the mornings to watch
Yeah,
Salty show. So
yeah,
in a little bit, I've been busy with some other stuff. So
yeah. I
I'm more of a
understand
night
that.
owl.
I understand that. Well, thank you so much,
You're
chat.
welcome.
Thank Dolphin for being up here on panel, and I'm gonna drop you down. Have a good night, Dolphin. All right, all right. That went really well. Um, I'm sure many people have my government name by this point. I doxed myself last night when I was showing something. Google doxed me, or the freaking sign in thing doxed me. So, um, not a big deal at this point. I don't care. So, you guys thank Dolphin for being up here on panel with me. She did a great job. And y'all go over to Salty's and watch her, Salty and Firefly over there. They get down with the documents and investigation and stuff. Like I said, I've been really busy. I haven't had a chance to go anywhere. Sometimes I hop in and say hello, but you know, I haven't really had the time. I've been, doing all kinds of other stuff. Just, and I found out today that I'm going to have to go to a week long training to be certified. So that'll be in September sometime. And I mean, it's just going to be a very busy fall. Fall equals football for 12 gauge, and I'm a fanatic when it comes to college and professional football. And obviously, I have family that plays it, and just a very busy time. So, um, I'll try to find a case. I mean, I really want to continue on with the. I want to start the BTK. I know I started today with the Audible Nomadic Devil, the Israel Key story. So if you haven't been aware that that's out, I dropped the first three chapters, I think, in audio style. It's not me reading it; it's AI. Um, but I like the way the AI did it. So go check that out. I'm gonna do the second part tomorrow. Probably drop 3 more chapters and then continue on until I finish the book. There's just so much into the that goes into this. You just don't have enough time. You know what I mean? Don't have enough time. But I also want to continue watching the Amy Bradley story. I mean, you get into something and then you're like, okay, well, we're going to watch it tonight, and people get busy, and good intentions, but things happen, life happens. So hopefully we'll be able to watch that this weekend. If y'all are around and y'all know about that case, come on into Discord and watch at least a couple more episodes with us. That's a very intriguing story. But it's time for me to say goodnight. Y'all have a wonderful night. Be safe out there. Be sure to hydrate because it's a hot one down here in the south. I don't know what the temperatures are around your area, but it was up to 109 today in Texas, and it's getting hotter. So August is officially here. And Maestro, cue that music.